Rockin' Larry Lockin' with Pleiadian Express Productions, your host with the most from coast to coast, giving up all the toast, giving you coolness, hotness, and everything you want in this. Okay, enough of that shit. Let's get into it. I want to talk about how corporate greed historically has slowed down technologies. And really, if it wasn't for corporate greed, we would probably be 100 years more advanced than we are. And I'm going to break it down the best I can here. Let's start with Nikola Tesla over a century and a half ago. Okay, the guy invented his own form of the radio. His idea was ripped off by a guy named Marconi. He also had an idea for a light bulb that was ripped off by Thomas Edison. He had an idea for free energy for the whole world. But, greedy companies like Westinghouse and stuff like that, and oil companies were like, no, 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 hold up a minute. You're cutting into our meal ticket. We need to make money off of this. We need to make money off of people. Okay, so Tesla was marginalized completely. He had all this stuff figured out a century and a half ago, but because he wasn't willing to play the corporate game, they really put a hit job on it. It's just like with these oil companies. What they will do is they drive the prices up really, really high on the brink to where people can't afford it. Then they'll back off just a little bit and get the people thinking, oh, wow, they've lowered gas prices. Okay. Meanwhile, they're still paying a shitload more than they used to for it. All right. And they play this game with oil. And then they're like, oh, you got one political guy who's like, oh, well, we just need to drill, baby, drill. We are already drilling, okay? We are already drilling the last bit of oil out of the earth that Mother Earth can possibly produce. All right, the problem is around the world, though, is a lot of these oil reserves are starting to dry up in countries like Saudi Arabia and whatnot, because in a lot of these countries, the middle class is starting to thrive a little bit more, and the demand, they just can't really keep up with the demand anymore. And if you think a company like ExxonMobil, they want to lose their meal ticket, you better think again. I mean, why would a business that makes a shitload of money want to do that? They want to continue to make as much money as they possibly can off of people. That's why you got this whole thing with electric cars. They are the wave of the future, honestly. Now, the problem right now is, yes, it takes a lot to charge one, but the technology will soon be here where you can pull up at a station. If they had them everywhere, you can pull up and you can have your tank filled in about 5 minutes, and you can go 1,000 miles. For my European friends, that's I don't know, that's probably like, I don't know, 1,500 kilometers, whatever. Okay, it's the wave of the future. All right. Now, the thing about it is too is that it's important that we use all these resources. Yes, we probably need a little bit of oil right now because the oil companies have put us in that position to where we're going to have to depend on oil a little bit. All right, but the time will come where we won't need the oil, but the corporations slow this shit to a crawl because they want to make every last little bit of money they can out of it, right? Before it dries up. And what they're trying to do in the meantime is they understand that the electric cars are the wave of the future, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to behind the scenes make sure that they try to have some kind of monopoly on it somehow, to where they control how the process works and they can continue to make money off of it. But I think the consciousness is awakening in people, and eventually, that whole system is just going to collapse. But it should have collapsed about 100 years ago, to be quite honest with you. It's just like with anything else. They want to control the technology, and they don't want to go into better uses and better resources that can help that particular technology, because they want to make the money off of it, right? Okay, so fine, we've got that going on, right? And then you also have a situation where you have these oil pipelines that run throughout the world, throughout all our continents, these big conglomerate of pipelines that pump oil and push oil through. Now, I'm hoping someday that those can be cleaned out, all those pipelines can be cleaned out, and what we can do with them is we can use them to desalinate ocean water, right? And make sure that everybody on Earth has clean, pure drinking water. That would be the way to go. And I'm getting way ahead of myself because that's way off into the future. But greedy corporate governments all over the world, that they love to control this technology, and suck every last little bit of money out of it they can. Meanwhile, they understand that new alternatives are coming along, but they want to get their hand in the cookie jar too. And they want to make sure that they rack their brain so they can control that. They can control that situation when it comes along. Whether it's with radio, whether it's with free energy, television, the internet, oil, they want to make sure that they slow it way down, so they can, continue to make money off of it, all the while planning for the next step and the next phase and how they can control that in drips and droves to people. It's really crazy, but I think people are finally starting to awaken to that and understand that there are better resources, and we need to use a combination of all these resources, whether it's solar energy, whether it's electric energy. The technology has been there for like a century to make all this stuff happen. But again, you got greedy companies like ExxonMobil. They don't want to give up their meal ticket. You got to be fucking kidding me. What business would want to? If you got a good thing going, you're making billions of dollars a year, shit, man. Fuck that. You don't want anything new. You want to completely control the game and completely control the situation. But hopefully people are awakening. And like I said, I'm going to beat a dead horse. The technology will soon be here. I don't know, a few years, a decade, 2 decades, whatever, to where, you can just pull up your car at a station, fill it up, with electricity, and, go another 1,000 miles till you have to go fill it up again. And again, it's only going to take a couple minutes versus, I don't know, now a couple hours. I don't know. I don't own an electric car yet. But it is definitely the way to go in the future. And look, people, this is not some fever pitch dream. There are inventors that have even came out with engines and stuff like that for cars where you can run a car 70 miles to the gallon. That's in American terms, okay? I know other countries use liters, and I don't understand the conversion. I'm an ignorant American, I must admit. But where you can run a car 70 miles to the gallon on water. This is not just some dream. But again, you come out with inventions like this, and you're going to get so much pushback from really rich, powerful, I mean beyond powerful, energy and oil companies. They're going to, completely push back on that, and they're going to marginalize you. And if they feel like you're a threat, they're going to shut you down. Pure and simple, they're going to completely shut you down. I did a talk not too long ago about embracing technologies. When these new technologies are used out of love, and yes, here's the big scary word, artificial intelligence. I know, because it is scary when it's in the hands of these greedy people that want to control your life. Yeah, it is really frightening. But let's just say in an alternate reality where, excuse my voice is a little hoarse, but let's say in an alternate reality where these technologies were used out of love, like artificial intelligence, right? It could help improve our lives immensely with day-to-day living if we understood what we were dealing with and didn't let it get out of hand. These things would all be wonderful. But yeah, I'm going to close it with this. Corporate greed, people. Corporate greed and that hunger and thirst for power and making $1 billion. It's kept our society back by at least 100 years. And I'm not even joking. This is Rockin' Larry Lockin', and I'm out.